and welcome back. I'm doing another movie review today. I got out to see Fantastic Four First Steps this weekend, and I thought it was an interesting approach for Marvel to waste no time. It was much less action oriented than most of their other movies, but I gotta say I didn't find that it made things too slow, which I think would have been kind of the assumption for that approach. Um, it didn't change tack to be some kind of cerebral art house piece or anything, but it was definitely a lot more thoughtful than I expected. Um, Now I think that this has kind of started to become a refrain for me with recent franchise movies, but I'm not the biggest fan of the Fantastic Four to begin with. Um, from a comic book and a design point of view, I just have always found them a little goofy, but I was still curious how they would fit into the MCU, and so we went out to see it. And having seen the movie, still can't really tell. It's really confined to its little time period and the story that it's telling. Um, I guess a mild spoiler here for the Thunderbolts movie. Um, you know, that movie had a post-credit scene that teased the Fantastic Four's involvement, but that doesn't come into play at all in this movie. So I guess that's why they called it First Steps. They've got more to do, I guess. Um, I'll say that what worked best for me was probably the visuals, which is not a huge surprise given the usual Marvel budget and the spectacle that they go for. Um, so yeah, when the exciting stuff wasn't happening on screen, um, or rather when it was happening, when things were blowing up and chases were happening, and you know all that looked really cool. They put it through some really neat environments, and yeah, they made it look great, and it was backed up by a decent soundtrack. Nothing mind blowing or anything like that, but solid. Um, as far as the story, the film really focused on the family aspect of the Fantastic Four over the individual characters, which I think in the end, I think that kind of worked against it. Um, by the end of the movie, it really felt like most of the characters had remained kind of static, but at the same time, very little had changed about the group's dynamic. I guess if anything, they were confronting, what it meant to face something that was really beyond them. Um, there's conflict, but the impact of the conflict didn't seem very meaningful or lasting, um, at least not compared to a lot of the other movies. So that was kind of a negative aspect of it. Um, Generally, it really did feel like a very old school comic book, and that was kind of neat. I mean, I'm not exactly an old school comic book reader. I don't read very many comics at all, to be honest. Um, but when I have, it has definitely been more recently, in the past, I don't know, 5-10 years. So it was cool that the vibe was strong there of very classic kind of golden age comic. And so maybe that makes it a more exciting watch if you're a die-hard Fantastic Four fan. But I wouldn't be surprised if anyone else found it kind of slow. So yeah, there's that. Um, Overall, had fun, chilling with the family and eating some popcorn, watching a movie. Um, but it's not something that's going to stick with me or anything. Uh, but yeah, I had prepared to get this all ready and recorded and posted earlier, and time just really got away from me. So this will be hot on the heels of the upcoming watches. So as for what's coming up The next movie is probably going to be Weapons, which I'm recording this on Tuesday evening, and I'm probably going to go see it a little later tonight. We'll see what the showings are like. And then there's Nobody 2 the week after that. So that's probably next on the docket. And then we'll see what there's time for. But thanks for checking out the review. Let me know what you thought about Fantastic Four and what you're looking forward to watching next. And yeah, I hope to be back with a stream and another VOD upload next week. Till then, take care. This is Daft Pirate signing off.